meatball encompasses all the flavors of a stereotypical Christmas or Thanksgiving meal all in one bite. Hi everyone, I'm Ahmed, and in this recipe we're going to be using ground turkey mixed with spices and herbs and cheese, pine nuts and cranberries. It is a magical holiday all in one bite. In this recipe, I'm using 1 pound of ground turkey. Now, the only kind of ground turkey I could find was lean, but if you get dark meat, that's going to be really succulent as well. I'm going to add some spices. We'll start with 1 teaspoon of ground onion powder, 1 teaspoon of ground garlic powder, as well as 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. I'm also going to add about a half a cup of leftover rice. I've got some parboiled rice and this works really well in this recipe. I also like a little bit of crunch, so I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of pine nuts. I love pine nuts in this recipe, but you can substitute this for any kind of nuts. Sunflower or even pumpkin seeds work really well. For a hint of sweetness, I'm going to be using 1 tablespoon of chopped cranberries. I'm also going to use Asiago cheese. I love this cheese. If you would like to substitute it, you can use Parmesan instead. I've already grated a couple of tablespoons and I'm going to use that later in the recipe. But in the meatball, I'm going to use half a cup of Asiago cheese that I've cut into tiny little cubes. I've just sliced it and then cubed it. Now, why I love to do it this way is when you bite into the meatball, you get little pockets of melty cheese goodness. I'm going to add some salt and some pepper to taste as well as herbs. I've got half a cup of herbs. I'm going to use a combination of parsley, sage and rosemary. I've already chopped this up really fine. I'm going to add it to my turkey together with some red pepper. I've got about a 1/4 cup of red pepper that I chopped really finely. Now this gives a great flavor but also some fantastic color to the meatballs. I'm going to make my breadcrumb mixture that's going to coat the meatballs. If you remember, I made some chicken gold coins earlier in this series. I saved all of the scraps from that bread and I simply put that through my food processor and I got some fabulous breadcrumbs. I'm going to take half a cup of breadcrumbs and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the Asiago cheese that I grated earlier, as well as some of the chopped herbs, and I'm going to mix this. I've got my meatballs that I've divided up using an ice cream scoop. I'm going to roll the meatballs between my hands and then just roll them in the breadcrumbs. I'm going to add all of my meatballs to an oven-proof tray and it's going to bake in a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. The outside is going to be nice and crispy, and when you bite into those meatballs, you're going to be biting into Christmas. You're going to taste all of those nuts and herbs and spices and little pockets of melty cheese. I do hope you enjoyed this recipe. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every Friday, so make sure you're there so you're the first to see them. Don't forget, this recipe is part of the 12 Days of Christmas where I make 12 fabulous recipes to get you through the holiday season. From our family to yours, happy holidays.